All right, guys. Can somebody turn off the...
It goes negative 2. Negative 2.
We're going to do this one together. Sure.
So what's the point of us doing all this work? Like, is it always going to be a situation where we have to do like the find the score, or is it always going to be kind of confused?
All right.
So we don't have to find the score for this.
Yes.
What are we talking about? There are 5 steps on this, right?
Yeah.
And they are the same 5 steps that were up here. So you will have to do everything we did.
Yeah, so you have to find the score.
It's always the worst question to ask teachers. What was the point of this thing we did? Ah!
So not like that. I'm just confused because the first step was find the z-score, and we're doing this.
No. All right. Listen, guys. When I'm explaining the idea behind something, I'm going to attack it from the most important place. Guys. So when we started this off, I try to bring in what you already knew, which is calculating z-scores and all that kind of stuff, to get the idea. The most important part of any hypothesis test is what's far enough away and how far away did I get? Right? Those 2 things tell me the answer. But why is step A important? So I can set up how many tail tests is it, all that kind of stuff. Why is step B important? So I can show why I was allowed to use z-scores or why I had to use t-scores, right? But the most important step is the 3rd and the 4th one, and that's why I started there when we started this whole discussion. Is that cool? And then I brought in the new shit. We had never talked about hoes and highs statistically before today, right? So I didn't want to bring that in right off the bat. That was new. Okay, so let's do this one together. I was hoping maybe this would work alone, but that's all right. So again, the claim could be anything. I can make a claim. I could say, I think it's at most this. I think it's not equal to this. I think it's equal to this. So the claim lives by itself. And then which one does it go into depends on if it has an equal sign or not. Does everybody see that? The claim isn't always the hoe. The claim isn't always the high. It's whichever one it fits into. So here, the claim is u greater than 7.25. So of course, remember the null must have the equal sign. The alternate has these. So of course, which one's that going to go into? Alternate. There's no equal sign there. And then of course, this has got to be the opposite of that.
No, but what is it? Like 5.5?
So why is this one tail?
I was like 6. That's what I got.
Because I just care about it being greater than.
Okay. Should I do 0.8?
Time to take the meds, everybody. So this guy, this is the one we're trying to show is wrong. This is the one we're trying to show evidence for. And since it doesn't have an equal sign, it's always going to be the extreme. Sorry. You're like, yes, I can hear you, Jeff. The extreme, either way down there or way up there or either way. In this case, I want my sample to be way above 7.25. Guys, so not only does it tell me it's a one-tail test, it tells me what side the tail is going to be on. What side will it be on? Yeah, up here. Because I want my sample to be way the hell up there so it shows evidence that it is bigger than 7.25. So the H1, the alternate, always sets up where the rejection region is going to be. Okay, I like it. And again, please, dear God, guys, you understand. This does take several kind of iterations to get it down. It does. But hold on to the central idea. Somebody tells me how far I've got to get, and then I go take a sample and see how far I get. So, for example, if you're trying to decrease your fire insurance because they opened a fire station closer to your house,
Thank you.
who's going to set up what's good enough evidence? If you're trying to decrease your fire insurance, do you get to set up what good enough evidence is? No. The insurance company is going to tell you, okay, alpha is 0.005, sucker, right? Hope you get it out there. So you got to show that since they opened the fire station close to you, the response times have decreased enough. Does that make sense? They're going to tell you what the benchmark is, and then you can take a sample of response times and show where it is. Okay, maybe. So that's the heart of this. Yes?
I have a question about the 1 and 2 tails. So we only need one tail because we only care about it being greater than the 7.25, but what would a 2 tail?
Just like this one.
Okay.
That was why this is 2 tail, because what's not equal to? How do I show not equal to? Be up or down. I like it. In this case, it happened to be up, right? But it didn't. It could have been either way, because the claim was it equals that. So all we have to do is show that it's different. So it could have gone either way. Okay. So now, which one can I use in this problem? Z or T?
Z.
Totally Z. 2 things you got to tell me. Yeah, we know
Standard, the
sigma, right here. Population standard deviation. We know sigma. Don't say I know the standard deviation, so I can no. Because there's 2 types of standard deviation, and that is the decider between Z or T. So you got to say we know sigma, right? This population standard, and N is 41, which is bigger than 30. Check. Good old central limit theorem says go for it. Now, of course, if N was too small, I just have to read through and see if it says somewhere that it's normal to begin with. Then I can do something. I like it? All right? So that step should be very familiar. We've done this before. This step, that new symbol, is really the only new part, to be honest. So where's my tail going to be? Up here. Alpha's 0.01.
0.005.
It's a one-tail test. Be careful. No, don't say that to me. Alpha is 0.01. That is the area in the tail or tails. Alpha is 0.01. Where am I going to look at for 0.01? Which row?